Hello everyone. So I'm going to start the video on Tableau server administration and installation. Let's first look into what are the Tableau servers that are available, what are the requirements, hardware requirements, and then we will look into how we can install the Tableau server on our VM and run it. Although Tableau gives us a Tableau cloud option, but I have worked on both Tableau Cloud and Tableau Server, and I must say Tableau Cloud is bit slower than the Tableau Server. And in many enterprise environment, you will find the companies have their own Tableau Server, multiple node systems installed. Without wasting, let's try to look into the Tableau Server. I'll just do a normal search, Tableau Server download, and we can see the Tableau Server piece. So the current version is 2025.3.4. Tableau keeps revising its version. There could be some bug fixes, there could be some security concerns, there could be some new features, and due to which you will see a lot of times Tableau do come up with their own server, even within just few months. So with every new server version that comes, it will you will get a list of what are the issues that were there in the previous version, and out of those which are handled in the latest version. So let's log in. You can create your own account first. I have my account, so I'm not creating one, but you can create one and then you can log in. So once you log in, you will get the option of download Tableau server. But before downloading Tableau server, it's important to understand. Uh, okay, now we have Windows and Linux. So generally, the server is running on the is generally executed on the Linux environment. We'll have VMs. If you are in the Amazon, you'll have Amazon EC2 instance, Amazon Linux, and then similarly, if we are using GCP, we can have our own Debian VM instance created. So we can download it, the Tableau server from here. There are two other files that you can see, tab cmd. So this tab cmd has a lot of uses. We'll see it in later videos. So let's take if we have to download some workbook without going to the UI and doing all the things, we can log in using this tab cmd command if it is installed, and then we can manage a lot of things using the like permissions. So downloading workbook, downloading it as PDF, or multiple automations can be done using this tab CMD. Now let's go to another tab and let's see Tableau server requirement. So you'll get this minimum hardware requirements for the Tableau server recommendation. And if we come below, so the minimum requirement that has been given is a 4 cores, that is 8 vCPUs. If the version is 2022.3 and later, then of course we need to have 16 GB. If there's additional node, 64 GB of RAM if it is a primary node. And if the version is 22.1 earlier, then 16 GB RAM will work. Disk space, free disk space should be 15 GB. So if we are going to install the latest one, then we can have the 8 vCPUs. Now, like when we are going to create our instance, then we need to take care of these things. So we need to have minimum of 8 vCPUs. Then we need to have a 64 GB of RAM and then free disk space. So we can keep, some limit like less better to keep like 50 GB or 100 GB. We are doing it just for the I'm just doing it for learning purpose. But in the enterprise environment, of course, we have like much higher RAM and much higher like disk space. depending on the data that we have, like minimum of 500 GB to it could go up to a lot, depending on the size of extracts that we have. And the CPUs again, easily 32 vCPUs is common for a primary node. Now, if we go to the actual production level environment, right? So that was for the UAT or test or just for learning purpose, we can have that. But if we have to run a production, it is advised to have 16 vCPU. As I mentioned, I've seen more than 32 vCPUs as well, and 2 gigahertz or higher. And then you can see here RAM is easily like 128 GB. It is asking, and that's insane. And the minimum free disk space is 550 GB. But I've seen problems having when the disk space is low. It is telling 50 GB. Better to keep more the free disk space, right? So keep it like 500 GB or depending on again the extract. It could be it may require more than 500 GB, 1000 GB depending on the extract sizes. And for the multi nodes, now the secondary node again it depends what kind of work you want to be done from the secondary node. Generally, what I've seen, sometimes so the secondary node could be just for the extract refreshes. Like there are many extract and you can't handle it with one node. So you better have a secondary node where most of the like CPUs, vCPUs are allocated for that particular purpose. And extract like let's take at a time 8 or 10 extract can refresh at once. So that's one use. Another use is high availability mode. So we need to have let's say 3 node cluster. So even if one goes down, uh, basically the server should be available all the time. So 2 node clusters could be for the extract references or for handling the load as well. But there could be other like there could be multiple node clusters as well depending on the size and the needs of the enterprise. So we have seen the hardware requirement. We have seen how to download the Tableau server, right? I have already downloaded one Tableau server, which is a previous version. We can use the same, or we can download the latest one as well. The size would be we can start, we can try. Here it is already written, so around 3 GB of size is there. So that we can download and install. We'll look into the next video, how to create the VM as we have seen the hardware requirement, and then we will try to install the Tableau server. We'll start the process of installing the Tableau server. In subsequent videos, we will see how the Tableau server installation process work. What are the things we need to take care, and then I'll try to also show how to add another nodes to the server, and then setting up SMTP kind of configurations, all other node configuration, and we'll make it ready for the use. Okay, thanks.